IKEA Renberget 2022 edition, assemble and review. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Clueless Dad. Today we're going to assemble and review the Remberget chair from IKEA. I have the 2022 edition of the Remberget. This is a classic. I've been using it for like 13, 14 years at least. I have it in my office and my home. I'll talk about that a little bit more as we start assembling. So let's get going and I'll do voiceover as we go. Ready, 3, 2, 1, go. So one very important tip before you get started: when you're cutting the box open, don't just cut really deep. Be very, very careful. Cut very shallow, or just pull it apart, because you don't want to slice up your brand new chair. It's right underneath. So yeah, this is not the highest level chair from IKEA. Obviously those are pretty expensive, but it's also not the lowest one. I would call this one like the nicest, cheap quality office chair. So like I said, I've been using it for quite a while. I think I got my first Remberget that I still have at home in Hong Kong like 2009 or something. So we're talking like 12, 13 years. And 2 years ago, I replaced it with the Remberget, which is a higher end one, slightly higher end one, kind of has a nicer back. And I still use that one in Hong Kong, and I have the old one too. The old one has shown quite a lot of cracking on the pleather, but the mesh material, the polyester, actually still looks perfect on that one. And the one I use in my office, when I'm in my office, also looks pretty good. So I think they're pretty comfortable. Some people might not like them, but me and my 20-something staff in Hong Kong have been using them for years. Pretty much no complaints about the chairs. I've never had one fall apart, never even had one come loose if you assemble it correctly. Because of COVID and the different prices between countries, I'm going to put all the price information up here. But because of inflation and supply chain issues and exchange rates, your mileage may vary greatly between when I film this video and when I put it out, because sometimes it takes me a while to put it out. But I have been noticing in a lot of my videos that, even the ones I filmed like last year, the prices now are 20 or 30% higher. So not a huge amount, but maybe $20 more. This Remberget in the US, because it's such a high volume one, was selling really cheap. It used to sell for like $50 something. And in Hong Kong, the same exact chair would cost like $80. So yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, even in normal times, the price disparity by country was pretty high. So based on what I saw online before ordering it, this one has a different design on the seat and seat back. So we'll take a closer look at that once we have everything assembled, and I'll talk about anything else that might have changed that I've noticed, because I've literally assembled dozens of these things over the years. But yeah, it's pretty ironclad. I think even with an updated design, should still be pretty dependable. Here's the biggest difference from the old version right off the bat. They put this kind of crisscross design into the mesh. I don't know if that really matters that much, because it looks nice. A little quilted action going on. So IKEA's going a little crazy on the labels now. They've stapled this in, which is the care instructions, and this one, which is about the materials. And in Japan, they staple in an extra label or use a sticker. And in this case, that's in there too. You probably can cut this off. I guess they have a dotted line on there, so they probably want you to cut it off. But yeah, in this case, ours was packed poorly. So if you don't take it off, you're going to have that hanging off the bottom of your chair. Okay, and here you have it. This is the Remberget 2022. Yeah, pretty much the same as before, except for a few key things. Aside from that kind of quilting pattern on the polyester part of the cushion, I feel like these are different. These side pieces, I can maybe do a side-by-side shot with my previous videos. The previous one was kind of rounded more, and it felt more substantial. This one feels, I think, a little bit weaker, but it's probably okay. Yeah, I never really noticed that it was like hard on my elbows or anything, so should probably be fine. Maybe this fits under the table better when you don't use it. On the side here, we have the height adjustment, and you also have a pull-out. Let's see if I can get it. Pull-out to unlock the lean back. If you don't notice, I don't think it says it anywhere about this, but if you push it in, it's locked. It can't tilt back, and if you pull it out like towards your right side, now you can lean, and you can adjust that tension with that big knob on the front. But yeah, so if you notice your thing doesn't tilt, it's because of that. So just pull it out. One other piece of important advice that I've shared in the past, and I'll repeat again here, especially for this chair, because it's all machine screws. So in other words, it's a threaded bolt going into a threaded hole, or a nut, or whatever in this case. You want to make sure that you do it by hand at first to make sure that it's not cross-threaded before you take your big electric screwdriver or drill or whatever that you're using to drive things in. So definitely don't just walk up and do that, because you could cross thread things really badly, and that's just going to screw everything up. And then also, once you get down to the bottom, go back by hand and tighten everything up. I think the other key thing is when you're putting the sides and the back on, keep everything loose. So put these bottom bolts on really, really loose so the thing is like floppy, and then get the back in and try to tighten, I think in this case, the bottom of the back ones. Get both sides in really well by hand, then get the upper ones in by hand, and then start tightening. And then make sure that you tighten each one like maybe a halfway, quarter of the way, go to the next one, go to the next one, go to the next one. Don't just do one in all the way when the rest are all floppy, because things will tighten wrong. So yeah, that's my advice. Definitely check out the Remberget if you get a chance. It is pretty comfortable. I think even with these, yeah, I'm definitely noticing the arms are different. Even with these new squared off arms, I think it should still be a pretty good office chair. And this one is designated as home office chair. It's not like the industrial line that they have. But like I said, I've been using it in my office for like 5 years already too, so no problem. One thing I forgot to mention is that it has these weird self-locking casters. So when you're not sitting in the chair, it doesn't want to roll, kind of sort of locks, and you end up dragging it around. But when you are sitting in it, it will roll. So I don't know exactly, that's kind of counterintuitive, because you think, okay, if I'm out of the chair and I want to roll it into, say, like the other room for a conference, I want it to be able to roll. I don't want it to lock at that point. But I think what it is if you get out of the chair, let's say, I don't know, like your floor is slanted or you get out of the chair really fast, you don't want the chair to like roll away and you think it's still behind you, and then you sit down on it and it's not there and you fall. That's the only reason I can imagine why you would want to do this. Otherwise, it just makes it really a pain in the butt to move furniture around. So you end up having to sit and like scoot across the room or through the hallway or whatever, or like pick it up. So it just seems really foolish, but that's what it is. Okay, so that's it for today. If you have any questions or comments or feedback, leave it in the comment section below. You can check out my other Remberget videos and Remberget videos, just kind of get a comparison and see the differences. And that's it for today. Thanks. Bye.